Welcome back to New Gun Owner Orientation. Once again, I'm your host, John Correa, the founder and owner of Active Self-Protection. And again, if you are getting into the world of firearms, particularly defensive handguns for the first time, I honor your quest and I want to help you kind of wade through all the stuff. There's a lot of terminology and a lot of new things to learn. And today, we're going to learn the difference between practice ammunition and defensive ammunition. So first of all, you want to make sure that you get the right caliber ammunition for your gun. If you look at this Smith & Wesson M&P Shield, you can see right here it says 9mm on it. You might look at a gun like this HK VP9 and it says right here, it might be a little difficult to read, it says 9x19, 9x19, and that is the same as 9mm Luger. So what you want to do is you want to make sure to ask what ammunition works in my firearm. 9mm is very common. It's by far the most common ammunition in America today, by far the most common defensive handgun caliber. You might also see 40 Smith & Wesson, 40 S&W, or 45 ACP. Those are probably the three you'll see most often, but 9mm is by far the most common, so that's what we're going to work with from here. The other place you want to look for that is you want to look for it on the box of ammunition. This is a box of Federal HST. It's what I use for defensive ammunition. And you can see right there on the box, it says 9mm Luger, which is exactly what we want to see. We want to make sure that the ammunition that we use matches up to the gun that we use. Now then, let's talk about which ammunition to use when, because they cost a lot different. That HST that I took out is this guy right here. It is what is known as a jacketed hollow point. And the reason that it's known as a jacketed hollow point is that it has a hollow point. If you see a bullet that has like a little divot in it, that has like a little crater dug out of it, that is a jacketed hollow point. So it's copper jacketed lead core that will expand when it goes into flesh. So it makes a bigger hole, which is what we want defensive ammunition to do. This stuff is generally expensive. You're talking anywhere from as low as maybe 80 cents a piece up to a couple of dollars each. And because they are expensive, you don't want to shoot them all that much. You want to make sure that they function well in your chosen firearm. So you want to buy a couple of boxes to shoot it through your gun to make sure. But a box of 20 of these might cost you $25, and so you don't want to buy 1,000 of them. This little guy, on the other hand, is a full metal jacket. It has got a completely metal encased end. It is a like a completely copper jacketed here. Now both of these rounds have a metal case around them, but what my full metal jacket is it's much cheaper to produce. These aren't, generally speaking, quite to the same standards as a jacketed hollow point, because it doesn't need to be. This is ammo that you'll take to the range and shoot to practice. This stuff right now, the panic notwithstanding, is generally speaking around 18 cents each, maybe 20 cents each. If you get into the 40 or 45, a little bit more expensive, but about 4 times less than the jacketed hollow point. So it's great for practice, but the problem is that it won't expand. So it's just going to poke a hole right through what it is, and it can go too far through things, go through a bad guy and off into somebody else. So these jacketed hollow points are great. The full metal jackets rather are great to practice with because they're economical. And these are the ones that you buy at the range. Full metal jacket. You buy these in bulk generally, and they're not expensive. Now, which jacketed hollow point is the best? Gosh, you got to answer that question for yourself. I would suggest that you go and look at the LuckyGunner.com ballistics comparison, and then you can make some informed decisions for yourself. For me and for mine, the two that I recommend and trust are these Federal HST in 9mm, and I also recommend the Spear Gold Dots in 9mm. Both really, really good rounds. There's videos on the channel for that. But don't go and buy a whole bunch of these thinking that you want to shoot them up at the range. These jacketed hollow points are too expensive to do that. Instead, get a bunch of the full metal jackets and go and practice with those, okay?